Let me get the chat.
You don't know the power of sci-fi radio.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
We would be honored if you would join us.
Another Thursday night, another DB94 episode, Season 12, Episode 33, as if anybody is counting. Good evening, everybody. Sean, Obi-Shawn, Crosby here.
Jeff Solano.
I'm Colleen, Kaylee, Crosby.
And, hey, welcome aboard, eh? Glad to have anybody who's there. We got the chat going.
Frequent Falcon Flyer is there.
Oh, Lori's here. Hey, Lori.
Yep, Lori.
Woo. All right.
We'll see if it's...
Eric, as everybody trickles in. We're cool. Hey, how was everybody's Valentine's Day?
Nobody on YouTube.
I got flowers.
You did. Who would do something like that?
Weirdo.
Wait, look at the pretty flowers.
Woo. We didn't get super fancy on Valentine's Day. We just kind of chilled.
I don't really see them there. They've got these neat berries in them. There.
Well, here, hold on.
That's good.
Hold on. There's close up.
Yeah.
Woohoo! Yeah, I liked the berries. I thought they were cool. I don't know what they are. I thought they were pretty spiffy.
Yeah, Talonthorn?
I had to move them so Jeff could sit down.
Oh, yeah, they were right here.
He didn't want to sit on the flowers? I think that's a good choice. Right on.
Yeah, it's a little hard to do.
What'd you guys do, Jeff?
Nobody wouldn't have anyone come over, so it was just the folks at the house, and I think Kevin and Christina went out at one point, or maybe it was just Christina because I think Kevin's not feeling well. But Aubrey brought home Chinese food, or as it were, pickup sticks, and so we got food from that. I had got flowers for the remaining folks in the house, and some Pepperidge Farms cookies, because
Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and then I got
nice.
Licorice and candy from them. From everybody else. So it was fun, and Sparrow made cookies from scratch.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, they're shortbread with it's like a red candy in there that I can't quite remember what it's called.
Cinnamon?
No, it wasn't cinnamon, but it was red though. But I have to.
Oh, spice.
I think it was like
Cherry.
Yeah, like a fruit of some kind, but I don't know. I'll ask and see what it exactly was because I don't remember. Okay.
My microphone
It's going crazy over there.
doing weird things, yeah. I tried to pull it out of shot a little bit, and that was my mistake. Nice.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Yeah, we usually get See's candy or something, but we didn't so much this year. So it's
Well, I'm trying to lose weight, so
and
it was me.
I almost got cheesecake. There's a cheesecake that we like that we pretty much never have. And I thought, I could get that. But, I thought I'd be good. And
Thank you. I appreciate it because I really am trying to lose weight.
yeah, and that's fair. It's rude when somebody in the house brings food in that you then feel compelled to eat because it's a thing you like, and it's oh, cool, awesome. But then you feel bad about it, and nobody wants to feel bad about what you're eating.
Yes.
So, cool.
I must eat cheesecake out so I can't see it.
Gotcha. Yeah. Ouch.
Let's see. Jeff and Sparrow and I were at Disneyland this week, which was pretty cool.
Yeah. It was interesting. It was very busy, like for a Tuesday or something. It was pretty darn slammed.
Yeah, it was not too bad. I got us each something while we were there, and
Oh boy.
they had these three things. So at the risk of being stereotypical, I got one for each of us because they're all different. I got one for Colleen and one for Jeff and one for me. So this is Colleen's. This is Jeff's.
What's this? Wow.
I'm an honorary.
Hearty.
I'm an honorary princess.
This is mine. So what they are is their little name badge Disney pins that look like the cast member badges. And so Colleen's is pink and was honorary princess. Mine says honorary ghoul.
Yep. Oh, sorry.
And Jeff's is honorary pirate. And very far away. There you go.
So that nobody can read.
3D. Tip O'Neill and the 3D House of Stewardesses.
So these
Count
go.
Floyd.
What are these for?
Oh, wait.
These were just little pins that they just recently came out with. I thought that they were kind of fun. There were exactly 3, and I'm like, okay, they sort of fit our personalities. And Colleen's drawn first blood.
See, there we go. My
Got
goodness.
that going for her.
I was okay. So yeah, the about the cookies. There were just a sprinkle topping that were like a hard candy, but not really flavored.
Uh-huh.
But it was like they were shaped as hearts and pearls. But
Oh, so sprinkles.
yeah, and then I forgot to bring this up. There was a sauce too that she had made from strawberries and blueberries.
Sauce.
Yeah, you dip the cookies in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was
Sweet.
really good.
I got my hair caught in this
Oh,
pin.
why'd you do that? Look at that world.
Right on.
Thank you for the pin.
Sure, I just
That's
thought
pretty
they
cool.
were kind of fun.
Yarr.
And it was so crowded at Disneyland.
Hearties.
Traffic was terrible, and it was really crowded at the park. So I left at 3,
Yeah.
which was later than I had planned to leave. But I've been doing some work on my car. I'm trying to make it pretty fancy for this video thing that I'm shooting for somebody. And so I'm adding lots of little details just so it looks a little bit better than it is. But the traffic getting to the park, I didn't meet up with Jeff until 6.
Yeah.
It took me like 2.5 hours or something to get to parking. And it took me a half hour to get into Galaxy's
It's just
Edge.
nuts.
Big fight through the parade that was going on and all that
Yeah.
kind of, it was exhausting. So
Good
by the time I
grief.
got into Disneyland, I'm wiped out. And they're like sitting there having, a snack and dinner and stuff. And they're like, we feel great. I'm like, I'm so tired. But yeah, it was fun. We had
Yeah,
a good time. Did a couple of rides.
Yeah.
They, the lines were long. They were crazy long
Yeah.
for everything. So
Yeah.
But-
Sparrow and I had got snacks and ate at Docking Bay 7,
And then, did Sparrow ask this, or did you just decide to do a history tour of the People Mover?
We were there, and I'm not sure. I think Sparrow said something about the People Mover. and I
Like
don't
asked
think-
what the tracks were or something?
No,
or-
I think was something about it, and I don't remember what it was about. The question was about, to be honest, the original question. But I just started going, well, and so, well, this over here used to be the People Mover tracks over here. This would have come out of here.
Yeah, it was kind of
it's
interesting.
because I think remember when we came in and we went past the rockets.
Oh yeah, we started talking about the Astro Orbiter,
Yeah.
which is being refurbished and replaced at Disneyland. They fixed it up. They're bringing it back. They're putting it back together, and that's at the foot of Tomorrowland. It's
Yeah.
the first thing you see when you go into Tomorrowland. But it used to be across from the Carousel building, up high on a gantry.
Yeah.
And so is that what started it? She started asking about that?
I mean, saw that, and then we were talking about. I think I brought up the fact that it looked like they had painted it different colors than it used to be,
It's darker.
and then it
looks
just
like.
kind of went up from there. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So we sort of went into that, and then we're like, okay, this is where it used to be, blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
The Astro Orbiter used to be, I think, I love the steampunk look of it, don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
but I think it was inevitably cooler when they had it mounted up on top of the People Mover loading area,
Yeah.
which was a big cylindrical building. You had to take an elevator to get up to the top, and the elevator was very specifically modeled on 1960s NASA.
Yes.
So you got in the elevator, you went up to the top level, you came out, and you walked across what looked like a giant launch pad.
Yeah.
And then you got into the rocket. And the central thing of the
cool.
rocket looked just like a Saturn V. And it was very NASA oriented, white and black and orange, and super cool. And so you started 30 feet off the ground, and then when you pulled back on the stick in the ride, you went up like another 20 feet, and it was scary as heck because centrifugal force was pulling you out of the rocket. And I remember as a kid, it was terrifyingly cool.
Yeah.
And now it's like less so now that it's down on the ground. We're like,
it's like Dumbo.
Like Dumbo.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's not very good.
But the rocket jets was like Dumbo for adults. It was like, it was really scary. And there was anticipation and build up, and you had to wait to go up in this elevator where they could only take like 10 people at a time or something. And there was so much cooler about it.
Yeah.
Now I think that elevator area where they used to have the elevator, I think that's the Tomorrow Landing pin shop.
Yeah, yeah. It was like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It was like, that used to be like Radio Disney, too. Was
When
way
they
back
took it
when.
out, they put Radio Disney in there.
But
God, I tried to get that job, man. I wanted to work there so badly. And Radio Disney took over. It was International Radio Day this week. It was the UNESCO on Monday, I think, had International Radio Day. And I used to work for an AM station called KMDY, Comedy Radio, that eventually got purchased by Radio Oz.
Oh, yeah.
And then it became Radio Disney.
Yeah.
And of course, I was no longer working there when that happened. But I tried very much to get into Radio Disney as a job. I thought that would have been perfect for me.
Yeah.
And I still maintain that, but they did not hire me.
Yeah. Exactly.
Boo.
Yeah. I think back on the rocket jets, they started on the ground, and then they moved them over on top of the thing when they built it.
When they built the People Mover?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Yeah.
But before our time.
Yes.
My first visit to
Way back when anything
Disneyland,
opened.
I only remember a very few things because it was 1971.
Yeah.
We had come out. It might have been earlier than that. 67, 8, 9. No, it was probably 1970, 1971. And because we came out to visit family from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And I remember being freaked out by Monstro, and I remember the Peter Pan ride. The Peter Pan ride, my vision is terrible, and it has always been terrible. As a little kid, big things were the only things I could see. And so I couldn't see very well. And so the Peter Pan ride used to make a circle around Skull Island.
Yeah.
Or Skull Rock, or whatever they call it in Peter Pan. And as a kid, I thought that the skeleton kept going. And so, like, because you could see, like, stuff, and it was probably just reflections in the water, but, like, just the skull was sticking out of the water, but the rest of the skeleton was underneath it. I have all these weird memories of it, but I don't remember the rocket jets.
Weird.
From that time period.
Huh. Yeah.
So, and admittedly, I was really young. I was, like, 3 or 4. But that I have any memories at all, I think, is kind of amazing.
Yeah. I think the first time I went was probably 1980. We moved here like in 1980 in Southern California. So
you guys didn't even take a vacation down here to do it?
No.
Wow.
Yeah. So we lived up in San Jose. So, and it would like, depending on how many stops you're making or whatever, it's like, it could be an 8-hour drive or something. But yeah. So we just kind of, when we moved here, that was the first one we went to, I think, was Disneyland. So I got to go on adventure, the was it Adventures Through Inner Space or Journey Inner Space? Whatever
Adventures Through Inner Space. God, I loved that ride so much. And don't get me wrong, I love Star Tours. And Colleen actually finally got to be the Rebel Spy recently.
See?
I couldn't snap a picture of it because they pulled a switch on us and it was on the screen.
Yeah, they didn't have it in that little screen over on the side.
Oh,
it
yeah,
was in the
yeah.
middle.
Yeah.
I've never been the Rebel Spy before.
When the robot scans you,
Weird.
it's always in the main view screen.
Yeah.
And when it's not the robot, when they show a picture it's always on the side screen.
Yeah.
And I was on the side screen and I didn't make it over to the.
How
bummer.
do you know whether it's the robot scanning you or...
It's fast. It happens fast because there's a droid that comes right up to the window and it scans everybody through the window. Is the joke. So, but it happens so quickly that to sit there with your phone and try to get it, and I'm like pushing the button and nothing's happening, and like that really sucked.
And of course, I made it onto. Well, obviously, the People Mover. I went on that a lot when I was younger, but Tron wasn't there yet. It was still the speed. It was still the speed tunnel, and then Tron came in a few years after.
Right.
Yeah.
And the speed tunnel was like formula racing.
Yeah.
And so you were surrounded by cars and wind and noise, and it was pretty cool.
And then like Circle Vision, that was actually kind of cool.
Which the People Mover used to go by, and you could see all the people waiting to get in.
Yes.
And then they're bored out of their out of their mind.
A lot of really nifty rides that were still there when I went, like in '80, and then they either were, kind of changed or or whatever very soon after. So it was kind of neat.
The rocket jets were almost as old as Colleen and I. They opened when we were 2 months old in July of 1967.
Yeah.
And I was trying to find a picture to see if they started on the ground or if they started up there. But they did a complete redesign of Tomorrowland, and I feel like it was put in up in the sky like from day one. I've never seen it on the ground. And in 1967, I think is also when People Mover and all that kind of stuff went in. So, but I'm still kind of looking for that sort of picture.
Yeah.
But
I'd have to look at
I mean, they had the flying saucers, of course, were down on the ground and all of that kind of thing. But I feel like the rocket jets were always up in the sky.
Could be. I can't remember where I saw this image at. So,
well, like I said, I was 2 when they went in, or I was 2 months old when they went in.
Yeah.
So, not so much.
I wonder if they had something slightly different back then, and then the rocket jets came in.
Well, they had the flying saucers, and I think they went where the flying saucers had been, which was just a big circular air hockey table with the flying saucers. But they had completely redesigned. Wow, somebody shot video from... I should put this up. Somebody shot video from the rocket jets, and it's making me a little motion sick to watch. I'm going to go through the loading.
Oh, you're going to show it? Okay, cool.
Because it starts...
Back with the rocket jets.
Over here. Hang on. There we go. We can keep talking.
Yeah.
But so you went up in this elevator.
Yeah.
To the gantry. A lot has changed in that area.
I remember that.
You used to get get onto
there it is. That's
Space
awesome.
Mountain with a escalator.
Yeah.
Yeah, so all these things look like they were part of a NASA style rocket.
Yeah.
And they're attached, and I think it still works this way for the Astro Orbiter. They're attached to a ring that rises. So the arm moves up, and then the ring goes up like 15 feet. You really got some air.
Okay, I wonder if this will actually show up.
But, I was watching this. I'm not prone to motion sickness, but it was making me a little dizzy.
Nice.
Oh, I loved this ride when I was a kid. It was the best. And then the there was a blinking red light on the nose of each one, and it lit the nose cone of the rocket in front of you when you were taking off. It was just sort of like a big orange reflector. But yeah, this is very much like what I remember. This is super cool.
Yeah, the height really made a difference.
Yeah. And I love the steampunk design of the ride now.
Yeah.
But the problem is that they didn't commit to making Tomorrowland that whole steampunk thing. It's like they went halfway.
Yeah.
And then they stopped.
Yeah.
Which was really kind of a bummer. What was that little thing?
So I sent you a link to if you could. I don't know if you can actually see it. You'd have to like zoom in on it, but it's like I think it's the precursor to the rocket jets.
Okay.
And it's
there we go. So here's the loading area. So the center ring was the people mover, and the upper ring was where you got on to the rocket jets, and it was way up there. It was super super cool.
Yeah, I know. I love that. What is that?
So much.
There it is. Okay.
Okay, let me go get Jeff's.
At least I can find that picture. Oh, that's a better picture.
Jeff's picture.
Okay. Let me see here. I found a way better picture. I'll try to send it to you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, send it over and I'll load it up.
Yeah, several of them, but this one's good enough.
I like that Disneyland evolves and changes and they add new stuff. But there is also a certain amount of nostalgia there that I really I'm so glad that I had the opportunity to experience a lot of stuff.
Yeah. So I don't know what this ride looks like. This is what they base the rocket jets on. And this is like back in like when the park opened or whatever.
Could be.
You see what I'm saying?
So this is a whole page, and hold on a second. Let me
you find the image.
Let me pop this over here for you guys.
Okay. Oh, there's the one.
So there's the original with the people mover in action. You can see the gantry over on the side that you had to take up and get down. Like two elevators would do it, and then people mover.
Yeah.
Rocket rods.
Fucking rocket rods.
Okay. So this is the one you're thinking of.
There it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's very similar to what.
Yeah, it does. It looks like it's the exact same ride. So that's so there it is. And I don't know if they called it.
Oh, Eric says it's called the Astrojet. It actually shows it there too. Or Tomorrowland Jets or the Astrojet.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tomorrowland Jets. But they closed in 66.
The Boeing 707 jet airliner Astrojets. And then they had the rocket jets, which I really think making of the rocket jets was superior.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
Which is cool. I think we saw this model on auction.
Probably.
Let me see here.
But yeah, it's like, oh my gosh. Yeah, I was like, I swear.
It doesn't really get any bigger. I was going to try to get a bigger picture.
I saw it on like, one of the many making, the many whatevers of Disneyland. Like, here's, we're building Disneyland.
Right,
whatever,
behind the attractions or something.
Or I think it was like when Walt was actually doing the show on like ABC, and he's like, here's, what updates or whatever, and they would go to that or one of those kind of things. But yeah. It's like, hey.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah.
It's pretty neat. The I really feel like, and I don't know exactly where they would put this, maybe in the Disneyland Forward thing in the new part of it. I would like to see them bring back a version of Adventures Through Inner Space. But they could theme it Ant-Man now and make it part of like the Pym particles and the quantum realm and whatever. Exactly. But the ride could pretty much be almost identical. You would just be in a little Omnimover pod. They would shrink you down, and that would just be cool.
Totally.
I would be in for that.
It would be nice. But I don't know.
All right. I need to figure out.
Oh, my goodness.
How. Oh, there we go.
But yeah.
So
Lori was saying that she went to Disneyland when she was 3 also.
Wow.
But that was quite a few years before us. She beat us there.
what about the weekend? What did everybody do?
I worked on my car.
Sean and I went to Disneyland on
Friday.
I took a half day from work, and we went over to get the tacos that Jeff had talked about last week.
Oh, okay.
And I really wish that I had followed your advice and gotten the potato taco, because that's what I was going to do. And then I saw that each serving was 2 tacos. We ended up splitting 2 tacos, so I didn't get the potato one. And the tacos we got were so greasy.
Aww.
They were not good.
Yeah, we also made a mistake with ordering, where we meant to order one thing and we got a different thing instead. And so we ended up with these sort of cheese fried taco things.
It was weird.
Which wasn't, we had decided not to get them, and then we got them somehow. The whole experience was kind of confusing. We ran into Sandra, who we knew, and I think that sort of like confused us, because we started talking and saying hi and goofing off, and so our order, we sort of muddied our order, I think. But yeah, it did affect us for the rest of the visit. We're like, yeah, maybe we're not getting that again.
So anyway, we sat down to eat lunch, and I noticed after a while that the Ferris wheel wasn't moving at all. The Mickey wheel.
Yeah.
Nor
was
was the
stopped
Incredicoaster.
the entire time, but I couldn't see the Incredicoaster from where I was.
But we should have been able to hear it. from where
I
we were.
didn't. That didn't register for me. It just registered for me that the Ferris wheel had not moved since we sat down.
Okay.
And I'm watching it, and I'm like, this is really weird that it's been stopped that line. And then the people around us, I started hearing the people around us who were looking at their app saying, hey, all these rides are closed. So I open up my app and I look at it, and every single ride that is on a track that was tall, there were only like 4 rides in the entire park that were open.
Yeah.
Everything else was temporarily closed. And I said, Sean, something's going on. All the rides are closed, and the Ferris wheel has not moved since we sat down. And Sean said, oh, yeah, it's probably an earthquake. And it was an earthquake by our house.
Yeah.
And people who live in this area
Wow.
said that it was, felt strongly here. I think
But we weren't here, of course. We
we
were there.
weren't here. Eric lives near us. So
I
he
jumped
would
on
have-
the app, the earthquake app I've got, and so there were 2 in rapid succession. There was a 4.6, and then there was a 3.0, like within a minute of each other.
Wow.
Which was kind of nuts.
And they were in Malibu, which is really close to
Right,
here.
it's very close to us, and
Yeah.
but it was deep. It was like 7 miles down. So the expanding cone of that would have encompassed where we are. We're on very sandy soil, and so our house tends to do this mushy rocking thing.
Oh, okay.
I meant to go take a look at our front stairs, which have a big crack through them from
The crack is bigger.
previous
Oh, dear.
earthquakes.
Yeah, I'm going to take a picture of it. And
Yeah, we have to decide. Our house is
Forward
up
that.
on pylons. It doesn't have a foundation. It's up on stilts, as it were. They're probably about 3 feet tall. And there's a staircase when you walk into our house. It's basically just a big block of cement that they just poured some stairs.
Of course.
But as a result, where the handrails mount into it, it's got big fissures through it from earthquake damage, because that's the
boy.
weak point. So yeah, kind of crazy. And of course, we didn't feel it at all at Disneyland, which was interesting. But they did shut everything down, and they had to walk the track and check everything out. And so you could watch the app and watch rides blinking off and on as they came back and shut down and
Nice.
did whatever. But eventually,
interesting.
everything got back to normal. But it was a weird experience to see it, from a different point of view, because we've experienced enough earthquakes here in this house to go, oh, it's an earthquake.
Yeah.
And you play that game that everybody plays, which is truck or earthquake. Was it a giant truck that drove by, or was it an earthquake? I'm not entirely sure. Which was kind of funny.
but at Disneyland, we didn't really do much. We
We were there
We
to go
did
to
a-
dinner.
Yeah, we did. We had lunch, and then I had to deal with a work emergency. And, well, Sean grabbed a Starbucks, and then we went to the
Less
hotel.
of an emergency.
Well, I actually asked him to go to Starbucks because I was like, I can't deal with the work emergency while you're standing there.
Yeah.
Because then I'd feel guilty, you know, so
Right.
go get Starbucks. So then we went to the hotel to check out the Lunar New Year decorations
yeah,
they have.
yeah,
and
yeah.
a really cool
It's like
dragon.
Mushu or something, right? Is it Mushu?
Mushu is the
really.
mascot, but I don't think the
It's just a
Mushu
dragon.
was there. I was actually trying to
Maybe it's in the DCA. I know
find a
there's
picture.
big, like a giant kite-like Mushu somewhere.
Yeah,
I
it's
didn't think
it's a
it
type, but
was
I don't
supposed
I
to
don't
be
think it's
Mushu.
Mushu. I think
Okay.
it's
I'll show you a
just-
picture of it, Jeff.
I was trying to find the picture in your Facebook feed, but it's
Gotcha.
not there. I thought Colleen posted
So
it.
let's see here.
I thought I did.
Who do we else we added on
maybe I
here?
didn't.
Like Talonthorn, Dawn, Lady A, Eric is already on there. Yeah. Trying to go
But
through everyone we didn't.
Basically,
down there.
we just walked
Kelly.
around, and that's not Mushu.
Okay. I mean,
Is it?
that's looks like it's supposed
The
to be
coloring is the same,
Yeah, it's
but it
supposed to be-
doesn't
I
look
think it's supposed to be
exactly
yellow.
like the character.
Oh.
We have
Okay.
a friend who is playing Mushu in the park right now
Mm-hmm.
for the new year. We'll talk about her later.
Yeah.
Wow.
We went and looked at the really cute Baby Yoda caramel apples that they have.
Those I do have a picture of because they were posted, which is super cute. Let me. We watched them make apples, which we usually do. We go to by Marceline's candy shop, and these were really cute. So apples dipped in chocolate. They have like marshmallow ears. As near as we could tell, they took marshmallows and sliced them half diagonally and
Gotcha.
used those to make the ears. And they were super cute. And I think they came back a little later on and they added highlights to the eyes. Little, white reflection highlights. And they were super cute. They were also $16, $17. They were
They
a
were
lot.
14.
Wow. Okay.
14?
Yeah, they were 14.
They were a lot.
Yeah.
It was a lot for an apple.
I sent you the picture, Sean.
Oh, okay, great.
Ah, boo. The heck.
And then we did one loop around the park, Disneyland,
Okay.
and then went to dinner with our friends.
Oh, okay.
And then after dinner, we were just going to go home, dinner and looking in the outpost, but we made a last minute turn and went back into the park so Sean could pick up something,
Oh, okay.
and yeah, and then
It
came home,
went
got home
away.
around 1:30.
Here we go. There we go. So this is the dragon, and I guess it's the same coloring as Mushu,
I mean, that
but it looks much more traditional
I
than
mean,
that.
because it would make because they usually grab grab whether Disney.
They do,
They grab
but-
whatever Disney animal character, whatever.
Yes, they do, but not in the hotel. The hotel's usually really different. And one of the things that they did here is they had the pastry department of the hotel made It's a Small World style dolls out of pastry that,
Cool.
that
I'm
were
wondering whether I took any pictures.
they
of
were
that.
in
I did.
They were in the dress of the ethnic dress, which
Okay.
was really cool. And so, but when you got into DCA was all about Mushu.
Yeah, of course.
But this
Yeah.
seemed really traditional, and all of their photo ops were really traditional.
cool.
So I sent Sean a picture of
wrong
one of the
we
small world looking dolls
Yeah,
that is wearing a hanbok, and I took the picture for listener Liz and then failed to send it to her.
Ooh.
but that's all pastry, which is kind of amazing. It looks really great.
Yeah.
And then, so they had China and Vietnam and Korea represented, I think. Which, who all celebrate the Lunar New Year.
Cool.
Yeah, it was really neat, and it was nice to be able to go and see.
go and see the Lunar New Year stuff?
Their
You
display.
trailed
Yeah.
off.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, their display.
Yeah, it was a very like low and slow day. And then
Nice.
I had I was going to go fabric shopping in downtown LA, but I was beat. And the person I was going to go with, I think, was beat too,
Oh.
because she took her 3-year-old to Legoland for 2 days. So I can only imagine she was tired, but we never actually talked about it.
Oh, okay.
And I had a class.
You guys both probably got up and went, "Oh God, I'm too tired to do this thing today. If I don't say anything, they won't remember."
I think so.
My goodness.
But there's supposed to be a big sale at Home Fabrics downtown on the silks. So if anybody is a sewer and you live in the Los Angeles area, there is a sale at Home Fabrics.
Oh yeah.
There's a
You're
sale at
seeing that.
Penny's.
Yeah.
I had a class on fitting yourself when you're making clothing. And at first the class seemed really good, but then
Yeah.
I went to my sewing circle and was talking about it with another person, and she's like, "So now that we're out of the class, what is your real opinion of the class?" And I'm like,
Yeah.
well, they taught us this one thing. And it was basically how to put a horizontal measure in your pattern,
Okay.
and then make sure that you have balance of your costume on this horizontal or your clothing in this horizontal measure.
Okay.
That was pretty much it. That was any of the other things were sort of vague suggestions about how, if you pin something on yourself, you should do it one side at a time because it'll pull funny
Okay.
if you don't. And
I would think so. Yeah. Kind of feel kind of weird.
yeah. So there was that. And then on Sunday, I went to a dance class. And that was fun. Where everyone in the dance class said to me, "Are you new?" And I don't know if it's because I'm just not memorable, which is possible because that used to happen to me at Losfus meetings all the time too. I would go,
Larry Niven never remembers you.
right. Well, he doesn't really have need to remember me. I
mean,
haven't had any.
Look,
mean,
you're not
But
on a...
I have known him for like
Yeah.
20,
I mean, someone.
30 years.
I know someone probably must remember you from the mouse pad outfit, but
Well, Colleen is not unattractive, and she has several qualities that Larry very much likes.
Well, at least 2.
Right, and
One
so
here and
you
one
would
here.
you would think, but maybe the problem is he's not looking at your face.
That's a
I
possibility.
wasn't gonna say anything. I wasn't gonna say-
Oh, I will.
I wasn't gonna point it out.
I love Larry
It is
to
the
death.
truth.
I love Larry to death. It makes me laugh every time. But he's a hound dog.
Oh.
So
So every time I went to Losfus for years, I would go and I would go and people would come up to me and say, and by people I mean men. Men would come up to me and say, "Why you should come to, is this your first time?" No.
right.
You should come to meetings more often. Okay, thank
Yeah.
you. You don't remember me from the last like 20 times I've been here, but
My
cool.
eyes are up here.
Yeah, but that's not what it is at the dance class. So
No, it's not.
It could be that everybody's wearing masks.
And to be fair, though, you did go to the dance class in street clothes.
I did.
Where you were making the decision, should I just go in my jeans, kind of a deal, which tells me that
I
that's
did.
not usually how you dress when you go there.
True. I usually wear a skirt.
And so that may have made you look different enough.
Yeah. But also I was wearing a mask, and I don't go there regularly.
Yeah.
By any means.
Right.
But I couldn't tell whether it was because people didn't recognize my face or it was because I'm such a bad dancer that I must be new because I'm dancing so badly.
So
And-
badly.
And it's really hard when people ask you, "How long have you been dancing?" If you're not new, "How long have you been dancing?" And I'm like,
Okay.
"Well, I went to my first historical ball in 1992. So I've been dancing around 30 years, but not
geez
consistently.
It's-
If you do something
it's the-
only twice a year, you're not going to be great at
Yeah,
it.
it's
Yeah.
the bowling problem. We have
Yeah.
been bowling all of our lives, but we've only done it like once every couple years. It's not like we go all the time or joined a league or
Yeah.
anything. So we've been bowling for 40 something years. And
But this particular dance class is twice a month.
Yeah.
And I made myself a goal for this year that I'm going to get to this dance class at least once a month. So
Yeah.
I'm trying really hard to make that happen.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
And then I went to my sewing circle on Tuesday.
Ooh.
So, and I have one more little story to tell, and then I'll turn it over to you guys to talk
Okay.
about your weekend. I have spent the last month trying to put sleeves in a mock-up for an 18th century dress that I've been making forever.
Yeah.
And just putting the sleeves in, trying it on, taking it out, trying something different, putting it back in, taking it out, and as on Sunday, I was determined to get this darn thing done. And
Yeah.
so I must have, on Sunday evening, put in and taken out the sleeves maybe 5 times. One sleeve, not both sleeves.
That's exhausting.
Very exhausting. And on the 5th time, as I was taking it out, I thought, it's just that I can't get the sleeve on my underwear to pull down, because 18th century underwear doesn't look like our underwear today.
Yep.
I can't get the sleeve on the underwear. It's just, I can never pull it down in this sleeve because the sleeve is so tight. So I'm trying to make the sleeve bigger.
Yeah.
And suddenly it occurred to me, why don't I try making the underwear sleeve smaller instead of making the outerwear sleeve bigger? And all I did was I tucked the underwear sleeve so that it was not hanging past my elbow, and my problem was gone.
Da-da-da.
Yeah, and so then I put sleeve number 6 in of the day, and it worked. And then I looked at the pattern and went, okay, the sleeve is a little loose. Maybe I should go back to the very original one I did in the start. Remade that, put that in, and it fit.
Hey.
See, there we go.
I felt like a dummy,
It's
but at
magical, it's amazing.
now I can make a mock-up that should fit me entirely,
Cool.
and then I can make my
Oh, that's
actual.
good news.
Well,
costume.
that's the nature of working on projects, though. You always do something dumb or weird, or you forget a step, or you do whatever. And it happens with everything. You could be working on your car. You could be building something from scratch. There's always like one thing that happens.
Yeah.
Whether it's like you're building a model kit or
Excuse me.
IKEA or you're making clothes.
Yeah.
I mean, I do that all the time.
Yeah.
But it's frustrating and it's exhausting.
Yeah.
And I hate having to redo stuff.
It's even worse when you get, projects from somewhere and there's extra parts, but those are on purpose. And you go,
Right? You're like,
why are
Why
these?
are there extra parts?
why do I have extra pieces? Yeah, it's that, and that's always the case with Lego Advent calendars. You always
Yeah.
get extra parts,
Yeah, any Lego things.
and IKEA always has like a couple extra parts, and you're like, what did I miss? Why are there extra screws? Which are bad. But it's when you like work on your car, and you're like, where does this bolt go? Why do I have an extra bolt? And
Yeah.
how much of this do I have to take apart till I find out where it goes?
Gotcha.
Which is a problem. I worked on my car this past week, and I did just like little stuff. I'm trying to do the interior, make the interior look kind of cool, and so I'm doing like these little things. So if you look at my vents up here, I hate the vents in my car. Actually, there's a lot of the interior design of my car that I do not like at all, and part of it is that it has all this wood paneling, which is not very spaceshipy, and the vents really mess with my OCD. Because they're not symmetrical. They're opposite from each other. It's like there's a whole bunch of wrong with them that just drives me nuts. I try to ignore it as best as I can. But so what I did to sort of like distract from the fact that they're vents and stuff is I put these yellow bands on there. This is like door edging that I bought from, I don't know, Wish or somebody like that. and it's
Okay.
kind of cool. It's got a neat texture to it. It has metal U-clips in it, so it's like meant to be bendy and stay and stuff like that, which is a little different than I expected it to be. And it's not quite the color I expected it to be, but it's kind of growing on me.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of working.
Good.
And so I did this, and let's see if I can go through. So I started taking panels off of my car. So this is the wood with lots of wood grain on it, and it's the primary. They call it a dashboard cushion, but it's plastic, metal, and wood.
Yeah.
It's not really much of a cushion. I mean, I don't want to hit my head against it, but whatever. So I went through, and so it's like thin wood with a metal layer behind it with this plastic ABS thing that snaps in. And
Okay.
so I guess they form them all together, and then they take a computer and they trim around the edges to make it fit. And it fits precisely. The tolerances of the manufacturing are incredible. So much so that I don't feel like I can cover the wood with vinyl, with fabric vinyl, and have it fit again, because it's just too thin.
Gotcha.
I tried to do it with sticky vinyl, and this is 3 layers, and you can still see the wood through it. And I'm like, okay, that's crappy. So I had to bail on that. But I've been fixing little things, and much like Colleen having to redo her sleeves 5 times, I'm replacing stuff in the car that hasn't held up well over time. So the little teeth in the back there that are part of the shield that closes over the sunroof, I had to replace those. The buttons that you see, the blue and white buttons over that center panel there, I had to replace those. I don't think you guys can see my mouse when I point at it.
Yeah. It's okay.
And so instead of the vinyl stickers I had, which all melted and warped and stuff, these are glass tiles, which look very Star Warsy, and they're cool. And I almost used the first time, but I just really like the look of the vinyl, and I'll show you a little of that later. I duplicated the controls in Luke's targeting computer and cut them out on Cricut.
Gotcha.
These little buttons he made look so cool, you guys.
So these are the buttons, which are cool, and I'll turn us
Gotcha.
off for a minute. These are the bottom ones that are there. And so I took all of these, and I put them in the and then it went away. Hello.
Oh, boy.
That was weird.
It went in the Galileo.
Oh, this is our recording. I don't know if it's recording. Here we go. Let me try it again. So I put them over into the navigator screen. There we go. So that's them
There we
around the
go.
navigator
Yeah,
screen.
that's better. Yeah.
I mounted a lightsaber to the dash, which has been my tradition on all of my cars. So I finally
Yeah.
got around to that. And that's looking pretty good. This is the dashboard panel without that piece of wood.
Yeah.
And there's part of me that sort of likes it. But there's also part of me that has a really hard time with not having that panel on there.
Yeah.
Where it's like, it's trim, it's supposed to be there, it's whatever. I mean, this looks very Star Wars. But it's also a big hole in the dashboard. So I'm
Yeah.
like, well,
Yeah.
what do I do? But yeah, I really did like how these buttons came out. I think they look pretty sweet, even though they don't really light up. In the daytime, they look great. And as far as like having kids in the car and stuff, they'll be amazing because they don't really do anything. They can touch them all they want. Doesn't really matter, which will be cool. And so like the whole, this is my rear view mirror, and you can see some tabs on the side there that are poking in towards R2. I took some TIE Fighter wings from some toys and put those in on the outside. And so they look kind of cool and break up just the straight silhouette of the back window. And then these are the vinyl buttons that I had to replace. I used them on the dash. And so this was my quickie fix for the dashboard. I just made a little control panel and threw it up there. And I think it looks Star Wars enough that it is like sufficiently cool. The lightsaber clips are amazing. They're just crappy rubber ones from Amazon. They work really well. And it's harder to put the Obi-Wan in because it's got like ridges and stuff. But the Luke Skywalker one just like snaps in and out. But I like that it's kind of hard to deal with the Obi-Wan one because maybe kids will mess with it less.
Yeah, maybe.
And then I have to fix this lightsaber. This one's all beat up. But, the overall look is kind of getting there. And I had posted some other ones, but I don't know. I don't know where they went.
Yeah.
Maybe they didn't post, and I think they did. Oh, well. Anyway, that was my week, doing lots of that kind of goofiness. And for all the work that I put into it, it just seems so little.
Yeah.
You know?
Well,
which I know is
I
the
don't think
same
so.
thing. All of our projects are that way. But
It looks like a lot, really, but you know.
not to
whatever you want
me.
to say.
Not to me. No. And I did get the altimeter in. I'm really happy with the altimeter. It works really
cool.
well, and everything's all set and good.
I want to get that one that I showed you.
Yeah, I think that would be cool. We always try to work airplane gauges and stuff into our designs, and so it looks like Jeff and I are going to an air show at the Naval Air Station in El Centro, and we're going to put our cars on display. And so having aircraft gauges and stuff in there, those guys will get it.
Yeah.
And they love it when they see that. I still haven't figured out where to put my artificial horizon yet because it's really huge.
Yeah.
The 350Z, I took the stereo out and moved the stereo up, and that left a big hole in the dash, and it fit perfectly. It was so cool.
Oh, see, there you go.
And now I don't even know where to put it in this car because I can't take anything out of the dashboard. Yeah. It's going to have to go on top of the dashboard, I think, which is weird.
Yeah. Yeah, that might have to do the same.
But one of our other car guys, Daryl Sorensen, I think, who lives in Illinois, he built a box with a bunch of switches and gauges and stuff, and he put it right there on the dashboard above the center console. Seemed to work out okay for him and his Saturn. He did an Arc 170 Saturn.
Yeah.
So maybe that's a route we have to go. But anyway, we've got about a month before this air show happens. So if you can get that gauge in a month,
I think so.
Let me know, and I'll help you mount it if you want help.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Also went to a vampire Valentine type party over at Owen's house. So I dressed up as I put on like a this one red smoking jacket that's like older than I am.
Was it velvet? Like a velvet smoking jacket?
No, it was. I think it's silk. It might be. It could be satin, but I think it's silk. Okay. It's very old, and it used to be Aubrey's great grandfather's.
Wow! So it's legitimately vintage.
Yeah, that and like I don't remember, and other clothing parts, whatever, to make myself look that way. And then Sparrow did some eyeliner on me, so it looked like I was a quick and dirty whatever, vampire. But everyone was dressed vampire-ish for this thing, and they had music playing, and they decorated everything up, and they had I think it was purple or something lights, whatever, and some bats and stuff and everything, and
how cool,
stuff. Yeah, and it was fun.
Neat.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
A lot of fun.
It's a kind of a cool way to celebrate. I have a problem with Valentine's Day, largely because it's such a contrived holiday, and it's just But I know a guy from conventions, Michael Bloom, that runs a thing called Cascateria, and he does a vampiric Valentine's Day thing. He also does one around tax day, the
Nice.
tax man sucketh.
Yeah.
It's also a vampire themed thing, but it's like a poetry reading and that kind of stuff.
There's a I mean, to be honest, I didn't really know this history beforehand, but because of the date. But apparently on February 14th, that's when the Hawaiians killed Captain Cook.
Oh, nice.
When they tried to kidnap their king, they basically came after him, and he's not around anymore.
So maybe we should celebrate that instead of Valentine's Day. That's pretty funny. Right on.
Man, good grief.
Wow, that might be one of the longest "What have we done this week" things we've done in a
Yeah,
long
almost
time.
an hour. Dang. Oh, wow. That's pretty good.
Right? It's like, hey,
Rambling on. Everybody left.
they're gone.
like,
right? They've all
We're
taken
tired
off.
of this.
These guys.
These
won't
guys
shut
yammer on
up.
like every show. I mean,
We have some people. We have
yeah.
someone's in Blackwood, Wales.
Yeah.
Someone is in Heiligenhaus
Vinegar.
in Germany, and somebody's in Russia, but I don't know what town they're in.
Let's see. Liz popped in too.
Hey,
So that's Beth Allen 72. That's Liz.
Talon Thorne says Cook got doinked in the head.
Well, among other things, yeah. There are many terrible things happen to that guy after. This is what, yeesh.
Jeff, you want to talk Star Wars?
Well, for a few minutes, and then we hit the
Star
thing.
Wars. Nobody likes that crap.
Okay. First up, we have the birthdays of February 11th, 1915 is when Pat Welsh was born, who doesn't have a huge number of credits IMDb. And of course, one of them that's not actually seen, it is listed. I'm sorry. It's mostly E.T. and then Boosh, the voice of Boosh, though the voice of E.T. and the voice of Boosh from Return of the Jedi. And apparently Waterloo Bridge, and I have no idea, it just says uncredited.
Wait, I thought Leia was Boosh.
Yeah, but she didn't
She
do
did
the
the voice.
voice in the costume.
That's
So,
silly.
so you remember E.T.,
Yeah.
right? So E.T.'s like
Yeah.
bun hum,
Yeah,
whatever.
Uh-huh.
So she was that voice, and then for Bush, Iote, whatever.
Yeah.
So they got her because she could just do weird voices.
Yeah. So
Okay.
pretty cool.
And then once she took the helmet off, of course, she was Carrie Fisher
Yeah.
Right.
because it was supposed to be mysterious and weird. So instead
Yeah.
of having Carrie Fisher make a weird voice, they
Exactly.
just had Pat Walsh do it.
Yeah. February 15th, 1927, Harvey Korman was born. And if you saw the holiday special, you know every character he played.
Yes,
Yep.
Chef Gourmanda is
Yes.
the primary
Yeah.
one. I didn't
then,
quite get to him today on my radio show, and I
Yeah.
felt a little bad. Maybe tomorrow.
So, and most of the people that, most of the things he's done were things, all comedy, basically. And people should know, obviously, Carol Burnett's show and Blazing Saddles and whatnot. So
Right.
ton of other stuff. Very, very prolific. Let's see. And the next one I have is February 12th, 1942. Terry, I want to say Bisson, was born. That's who wrote, it's Boba Fett's Fight to Survive, Boba Fett Crossfire were the two Star Wars books that he wrote. And I guess not really not just those, just like those were just some things. He has a large number of other books that he wrote.
Lots of sci-fi and
Johnny
fantasy.
Quest too. Wow. But
He
has
won the
a
Hugo
lot.
Award. He won
Short
the Nebula
stories
Award.
galore. Wow.
Yeah, he's got a lot of stuff.
Oh man.
Just
So, yeah, very accomplished fella. Okay.
yeah, I mean, a lot of people take on Star Wars stuff just because it's a paycheck.
Yeah.
He didn't need to write anything in Star Wars.
No, totally. So, pretty cool. And the Boba Fett books, the Crossfire, the Fight to Survive was about Boba Fett when he was younger. And I think I'm not sure about the second one though. I think the second one he might be a little older.
More importantly, Terry Bisson wrote the Car Talk book with the guys from NPR, Tom and Ray Magliazzi.
The Click and Clack brothers.
You got it. So he wrote that book with them. And, I mean, that's way better than Star Wars, if you ask me.
Yeah. Well, my brother. Don't listen to my brother.
Don't listen to my brother. And he also did the novelization for Galaxy Quest.
Ooh, wow. That's cool.
And I got to say, I have never thought to go look that up.
Huh.
I have lots of movie novelizations and stuff.
Yeah.
I've never thought to go look for that. He did The Fifth Element, too.
Huh.
Alien Resurrection, The Sixth Day, Virtuosity, and Johnny Mnemonic. Wow.
Yeah, he's pretty darn prolific, I'm swearing.
And I love that he's got a series that's just called Billy. And it's not about the bookcase from IKEA.
Billy.
Billy and the Ants, Bully and the Bulldozer.
Yeah.
Billy in Dinosaur City.
Yeah.
Right on.
Should make those into movies or something.
Right.
And our last things is, well, I got a minute. I'll try to squeeze them.
Well, you want to do the station ID and then we'll come back?
We can, because I could start talking about these, but I have a feeling
Let's
we're going to
do it.
get derailed.
You are listening to Docking Bay 94. If you're on sci-fi.radio, it is sci-fi for your Wi-Fi. That is our super clever URL. Just type sci-fi.radio into your web browser.
Yep.
It will take you over there. We have nerd news you can't really use. It's just interesting. But we're there 24/7. I do a morning show there, Good Morning Tatooine, from 9 to 11 Pacific time. Lots of other DJs doing lots of neat, cool shows, and we encourage you to go check that out when we are not on the air. And of course, we're there from 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific time. And we have a schedule up there that will change magically every time you click on it to whatever your local time zone is. And that's what computers should do. It's pretty great. Do the math for you. You could be watching us on Facebook or YouTube or Twitch. Any of those are completely acceptable. Or even our Discord channel. I believe that our Discord channel plays it,
probably has it
over there too, if you want to look at the live DJ chat thing. And Boba-Kit Sovine is doing all of our cool links over in the chat. She does our control document for the show. We're very grateful to her.
That's it, yeah.
I'm Sean Obi-Shawn Crosby.
This is Jeff Donoho.
I'm Colleen Kaylee Crosby.
And hour 2 of the show. Because we spent a whole hour talking about us.
So important.
That's
We're on the history part. That's not birthday is February 12th. Well, that's a long year. 21978.
right. 21978. Yeah. Lose the 2.
Oh man. Splinter of the Mind's Eye was released from Del Rey, which was the sequel, so to speak, written by Alan Dean Foster.
Alan Dean Foster ghost wrote the Star Wars novelization for George Lucas, so he put Lucas's name on it.
Yeah.
And because he did that, he got to write the second one.
Yeah.
And that was the one we all thought was going to be the movie.
Yeah.
We thought, oh my God, they wrote another book. The first movie, the book came out before the movie came out, so that must be the thing. And so it was a kind of a fun little adventure that did some really interesting stuff. And, we didn't know that Luke and Leia were related yet, so that there's that awkwardness going on in there. I'll tell you, my core memory of Splinter of the Mind's Eye, as cool as that book was, as much as I liked Alan Dean Foster, and as awesome as the freaking cover was, with the Ralph McQuarrie art with like Darth Vader and the Kyber crystal and the whole deal. Mm-hmm. I got the book in junior high school from a super cute girl. I couldn't believe she gave me like a science fiction novel. It was amazing. It's like as cool as the book was. Yeah. No, that was the important part.
If we were more famous, she would be listening.
Right. Yeah,
Sorry, Sean.
She probably has no idea who I am. You remember that weird kid in junior high?
I gave him that book that my uncle gave me, and I didn't know what it was.
Right, he was so weird.
Man.
Here, this looks like something you would like.
Right.
No, she was very sweet.
Nice. February 15th, 1995. Dark Forces was released on PC.
Dark Forces, the first-person shooter for Star Wars.
Yeah.
Definitely ripping off Doom.
Of course.
But aren't they doing...
Just a Moldy Crow?
Yeah, the Moldy Crow was the ship that came from that. Absolutely loved that ship. When Colleen and I go to Galaxy's Edge, our characters' backstories own that ship.
Nice.
The Moldy Crow.
There you go.
But weren't they doing an HD?
Yeah, they're upgrading
version.
Yeah, and it looked better. What I saw, it didn't look spectacular. It kind of looked like they bumped it up maybe 5 years.
Right.
Something that really did look much better.
The problem with the game, the way the game was written, this was before they were doing full 3D modeling of characters.
Yeah.
So in a lot of the 3D first person shooter games that you play now, the character is fully modeled and you can walk around them in 360 degrees.
Yeah.
And what this did is they had these slides that would flip to make it easy. So like a stormtrooper was always facing you, and if you turned around it, it was always facing you. And then when you got to a certain point, it would flip to a side view of the stormtrooper. There was no blend. You didn't see it. You didn't see it turn in front of you. It just went click and flipped to this other thing. It was really bad. And so if they didn't get rid of that, it's just going to look like very nice pictures.
Oh,
but
no.
not
they
very good.
they did change that, but I mean, it's not like, hey, it's upgraded because it's the 2023 or 4 or whatever making it. It should look really awesome, and it's like it looks like maybe the year 2000 or so. It's not heavily improved in how the image
seeing fan versions of it, and in fact, I'll load one up over here.
Okay.
I can't even begin to tell you.
The heck was it?
I'm trying to get past commercials here because they're making me watch commercials for chocolate.
Yeah.
They suck.
Darn it. Okay.
So this is the fan version of the update of the game. Sorry if it makes you motion sick. And, it looks maybe a little bit better.
Yeah, this might be what the thing I saw, but I'm not sure.
I remember this level,
because this
too.
looks very...
I mean, it's always going to look about the same. And so, but you can see how blocky some of the textures are and that kind of thing.
Yeah. There's supposed to be one from...
I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. So here's some
that?
characters that are like not the best. And the animation is really jerky. And, and so, but I thought this thing was like supposed to have come out.
Yeah, that's
already.
And
but
I'm trying to find an actual thing from the company, you know, but all I've seen is like...
Look at the quality of these textures. It's like that control panel is really super crappy. See if I can get at it. I can't really get at it. So it's it could be a lot better, but this is like the a fan edit that was made to look better, and it doesn't really.
Let me see if this is the right one or not. I found something, and
There's
I'll
another
send it to you in a
one that
minute.
says it has pretty amazing graphics. Oh, here's a side by side of it.
Come on, darn it!
I guess this does.
Here it is.
Look better.
Copy.
Here's a side by side of the original game on the lower right and the remake game on the upper left. Again, though, this is a fan thing. I love this ship, though. This is the Moldy Crow, and it's
so it's the video you found is probably the same one I just sent you.
It's absolutely amazing.
Like the space scenes look really cool. Then you get to the game part, and you're like, But
the game part here.
Yeah, this is good. God. There's like a scene where they are inside shooting the troopers in another one. This is like the work in progress thing you're looking at. Okay.
Yeah. This is Docking Bay 94. Here we go. This is the thing. Somebody redid.
This
did a Mos Eisley thing.
Okay.
I mean, this looks pretty decent.
Yeah,
I would play that game.
This is like is this the fan one?
Yeah.
Or a fan one?
This is still a fan one.
It looks really nice.
And so, I mean, you can see how crappy it is in the upper left-hand corner for the regular game.
Okay, yeah.
And then what they did.
I think I sent you the one that actually is from Lucasfilm, and it's IGN doing it.
Oh, really? And it's
so
not
you can
as
see
good.
you can see throughout it. You can see what it used to look like and what it looks like now, and it's like, well, it's better.
I mean, because this fan remake is really glorious.
Oh yeah, the fan remake looks amazing.
Oh my gosh!
And
look
then,
at this hangar.
And like the one that they did, I'm like,
Of course, none of the troopers are attacking you or anything.
Yeah.
They're just standing around. So obviously, it's not a complete thing. Let me get the one that you sent.
I think it's like the same as the one that's in the corner there almost, but it's like it's only slightly better. And I don't know what they did.
Let's see. You put it in the Facebook chat?
In your chat. In you. I send it just right to you.
Just right to me. Okay.
Yeah, so
Let
but
me
ding
get
everybody.
It. Let me get it. Facebook is slow.
But it was the IGN one. So and it's like it looks better, but not much better.
But not enough.
It's like here's the scene on the Star Destroyer. Oh, it's a little better.
Well, and we had such high hopes for some of the games after they did that great version of like Monkey Island and that kind of thing. All right, so here's a video. Starts with like the crummy logo.
Yeah.
It was pretty pixelated.
Yeah.
And then it sort of snaps into a better logo. But logos are easy.
See, it's a crisper looking
gameplay.
But like, and the space scenes are okay.
Yeah.
And see, that looks better.
That looks fine.
But when they show you like the previous to what they redid it with, you're like, oh.
See, I mean, if this is the update, it's not that great. But maybe they're banking on the cheap nostalgia factor of
I think so.
It's all pixelated, like the cutscenes.
Yeah, here
this is like really rough.
The cutscene, and then it goes.
Oh my gosh, that's awful.
Now this is the better cutscene,
and there's the better,
and it still looks pretty bad.
Yeah, like really.
So here's the original.
I'm like, oh my gosh.
And here's the new one, and he still looks pretty terrible.
It's not much better, you know?
Yeah.
It's like some of them are amazing, and some of it's like, you're like, what? Did you farm some of this out somebody?
Which is a bummer, because I absolutely love this game. I played it so many times. It only has like 9 levels or something. It was really great.
Like, it's better
and
because
you
it's not
couldn't even
blocky,
tell what half of the things were that were attacking you.
Yeah.
There was like this Terminator-ish thing that came after you that was just, you didn't even know what it was. It was a blob.
I was like, I'm like, maybe you guys should just let the fans do it. I don't know. They seem to be doing a really good job.
Seriously, just buy it from one of the fans or hire that guy. Like, remember when Lucasfilm hired the guy who was doing deep fakes?
Yeah.
To come do like I think he did Indiana Jones, the last Indiana Jones movie.
Yeah, or like, and I think he worked on The Mandalorian at one point.
Yeah,
didn't he? Later on
for Luke or something.
Yeah.
I think what it was is they did Luke, and then he went, no, this is BS, and then he redid it.
Yeah,
and they went, oh, you're right, this is BS, and they hired the guy. To come do deepfake stuff with them. So they need to do that with some of these games. Let the fans who have a true passion for it and are doing amazing stuff.
Yeah.
One of the car designs I did before I bought this car, I was looking at a used hybrid Cadillac.
Oh yeah.
And I would have bought it, except that with my weird eyes, when I was sitting in the front seat looking at the dashboard, the lights were strobing. Whatever LEDs they used, I could see them flashing at me. And I just can't drive like that.
Yeah,
it was too bad. But the car was very nice. It was a nice coupe.
Yeah.
With some reasonable space in it, and it was a hybrid, which I really wanted. Everything about this car said amazing. And then I took it into Photoshop, and I designed it up as the Moldy Crow.
Yeah.
It looked so good.
Oh man.
It was so great. I really wanted to do that, but and the car was in our price range. The only problem is that I would have sent myself into seizures with the dashboard.
Yeah.
Because of my weird eyeballs.
You'd have to rewire the
something.
dashboard.
If I knew how to fix it, I would have bought that car.
Yeah.
It was great, and I would have had that car at the same time I had the Z, and they would have overlapped, and everything would have worked according to plan. Instead of what I'm doing now, which is not according to plan. Thank you very much. But yeah, everything about Dark Forces was amazing. And then they went on to 2 more sequels. They did Jedi Knight and Jedi Knight 2.
Yeah.
Kyle Katarn has yet to show up in the Disneyverse, but I'm waiting.
I hope so.
He's got to be there somewhere, right?
Yeah.
It was
Who
so
knows?
good.
Our last bit of history. February 10th, 2012 is when the 3D version of The Phantom Menace hit theaters. So the re-release in 3D.
I was there. We did a whole bunch of interesting like premieres for that, and I think wasn't that at the same time we were doing the Discovery Cube Star Wars exhibit? Didn't they overlap? To 2012, right?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
said? Yeah, I think
so.
I think they overlapped. So
They probably did.
Did you do any of those premieres?
No. No.
They were pretty cool, as I recall.
Oh. Randy and Samantha are now watching, listening, or whatever
Woohoo!
you call it.
Hello.
Hey, y'all.
Empire Magazine celebrates The Phantom Menace turning 25.
Woo!
They have some images in there. Not great.
Yeah.
They didn't pick the best ones.
Right. Well, and so I'm a little mad at Empire Magazine, and we talked about this last week because on Thursday they had this thing that was like a star field with the blue lettering on it that was the "A Long Time Ago in a Galaxy Far, Far Away" lettering, and it just said "Hello there" with 3 dots.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
we're like, oh my god, this could be really cool. It's an Obi-Wan something. Are they doing Obi-Wan season 2? No, it was just the Phantom Menace. They have a special edition of Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
With a couple of covers. And so I like Empire Magazine. They're a good magazine out of the UK. But I felt a little ripped off.
Oh,
I gotta say.
gotcha.
It could have been really cool.
And the Phantom Menace will be in theaters for the May the 4th Be With You weekend in May.
But not in 3D that I
Weird.
can see.
Well, how rude.
They spent a lot of money putting it into 3D.
Yeah.
And they had a huge promotion when they did it. Like, as I mentioned before, we were doing all these openings and stuff.
Yeah.
I hosted a guy, and I think I brought him to the Discovery Cube for one of the Star Wars things. He flew in from like Illinois or something to be
Okay.
Darth Maul.
Nice.
Because I guess we didn't have a local one.
Oh, okay.
And so I, picked him up from the airport and drove him around and did all that kind of stuff for the few days that he was in.
Okay.
And he came out, he'd shaved his head and did the makeup and was a great Darth Maul. He was really
Nice.
terrific. And so it was a big deal. And the idea was that if this did well, they were going to do the rest of them in 3D. And they were already sort of working on them. And so I love 3D. I think it's amazing. And I think that the retroactive 3D is just as good as the current 3D.
Yeah.
So I was really looking forward to seeing like episode 4 in a way that I've never seen it. So I was hoping that they would release this one in 3D. They have it already.
Man.
So maybe they'll surprise me. Maybe it'll be cool. There's a new poster that they put out for it, and then the magazine has interviews with Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor and Natalie Portman and Liam Neeson and everybody. So, and Rick McCallum, whom we haven't heard from in a long time. He was a producer. Last time I saw him, he was living at Skywalker Ranch, which was weird. It's like George is like, yeah, you could just live at the ranch, whatever. I don't know what was going on in his life. Ian McKeag, who is a great concept designer, and they have an interview with Nick Gillard, who I appreciate as a stunt coordinator. As a human being, he's kind of a jerk.
Well, StarWars.com has an interview with artist Matt Ferguson about his Phantom Menace 25th anniversary poster.
Let me see if I can
So
call
you
that
can
poster
check
up.
that out.
And it has writing all over it. Oh, here we go. Like, what the heck is that? Apparently, this is his rough sketch for it. Here we go. So he did like a rough sketch, and there's lots of drawings. The poster is here
Oh, yeah.
on the right. Oops.
Yeah, when I first saw that, I'm like, is that animated?
Here we go.
looks like it's a cartoon.
It looks kind of Clone Wars-ish or Rebels or something. Yeah, it's very interesting. Anyway, it's it's different and cool, and it's got all the key players. And what more could you want? But I mean, I'll probably go see it just because. But I mean, we went to the Chinese in 1999. It was a very big deal. I'll probably go see it, but I find that this isn't one of the movies I rewatch a lot.
Yeah, I
don't know.
I don't
really watch the prequels at all anymore, to be honest. I mean, I like once in a great while I watch it, I guess. But
yeah, I mean, I guess it's
really
a good put it on in the background kind of a movie.
If I'm going to put Star Wars on the background, it usually ends up being the prequels because I'm like, I'm going to watch them all in order.
Yeah.
And then I get to Clone Wars and I just go, no. I'm
right.
done.
I need to go back and see if I can find all the stuff that was like edited scenes out of like the prequels.
Right.
Because there's an awful lot of stuff there. And it was like, I told Sean this, and I can't remember who else. It was Ryan. I was messaging Ryan about it. And I was like, I'm like, send a message like, Padme has like a family?
Right. Yeah, we were talking about this.
Because if you watch the movie, there's nobody there.
Right. I saw something recently about her mom.
Yeah.
I think she had a birthday or something.
And I think when she dies on the third one or something, that like some of them are there at the funeral or something and the procession.
Right.
But you don't know who the hell they are because they're not. They cut them out of the film.
Right.
And Kenner didn't make any toys of them.
Yeah.
So there's that.
So
Yeah,
I watched a couple of them.
So they don't have names.
Yeah.
They only have names when Kenner makes toys of them.
Yeah. And I watched a few of the cutscenes and I'm like, that could have stayed in. That could have stayed in. That could have been left out. That could have been left out. But I'm like, why wasn't this? What the hell? And so I'm like, was she I'm watching this, ever since the movie came out, everything like, I figured she must have been just some orphan or something that became the queen somehow.
Well, when you become
Because
queen on Naboo, they kill your family.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it probably.
Wow, that is a harsh planet.
I'm sure it says like in the novelization the entire thing about her family, most likely, but on screen, zip.
Well, but the scenes are there.
Yeah.
They're all
and Clone Wars and stuff too.
They're all
nothing
added. They're special features, but they cut them out of the regular movie.
They
Well,
left
I
out
mean,
completely.
But like her parents in the Clone Wars, why would she be with their parents?
I mean, during the Clone Wars, whenever they happens to go to Naboo or anything, her parents or her sister or whatever, they never show up ever. Like they cut them out of the movies and took them out all.
Padme and Amidala retreated to her home on Naboo. They retreated to their home on Naboo. Of course, they would be around.
Yeah, I know she exists.
Right.
I don't know about your dad, though. That might be a myth.
Right. My dad's a myth. Yeah. Hey, Disney Plus is dropping 8 seasons of a new show called Star Wars: The Acolyte this summer. And it is set 100 years before Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. And it is
that's so they can do whatever the hell they want.
Describe the series as a mystery thriller that will take viewers into a galaxy of shadowy secrets and emerging dark side powers in the final days of the High Republic.
Oh, Yoda could be there.
Former Padawan reunites with her Jedi Master to investigate a series of crimes, but the forces they confront are more sinister than they ever anticipated.
I'm not
Where's
interested
an
yet.
It's got Junis Sotomo's in it.
Two names I recognize. Junis Sutomo is in it, and Carrie-Anne Moss.
So you got
and then a bunch of people who are about to be
somebody.
really famous.
Chewbacca's in it, and somebody else. I don't know.
How old is Chewbacca?
Wasn't he like 200 years old?
He was almost 300 years old, I think, before they killed him off in a book.
Yeah.
Wow.
And like Yoda would have been around too, but
Right.
So he's up there.
Right.
Yeah. Samantha, I actually like Jar Jar as well. To be honest, I actually do.
Somebody asked me. Oh, in my sewing circle, on Tuesday, there were only 3 of us there, and it was in person. And they were, the 2 other ladies that were there were really trying to get all the information about Galaxy's Edge from me.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
like, I described the rides to them and what, like, everything that happens in the rides and all the things you can do and what the restaurants are and all that. And one of them said, is Jar Jar Binks there? Because he's my favorite character in all of
Sorta?
Star Wars.
Look,
Like,
He kind
wow.
of is.
if you
He's
were
not popular.
if you were 8 years old, and you know you
Yeah.
liked Jar Jar,
Okay,
I mean,
what if you were
But he is kind of there.
60?
I took a
then,
picture of him.
No. See, it's 55 maybe?
senility is real.
50? No, you're mean.
Let me jump in here and mention that the character that Juno Sutomo is playing
It's not Chewbacca.
is not Chewbacca.
Damn it.
He is a Jedi Wookiee.
Well, see, that
Oh.
makes sense.
He's still a Wookiee because, I mean, what are you going to do? Get the tall, skinny guy
Yeah.
who knows
He
how to
could
play
be
a
a
Wookiee.
Geonosian.
Yeah. So, yeah. he
Maybe not
could,
that
I
skinny.
guess. but-
Long spindly neck hanging
well,
out.
that guy was he was a basketball player.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So he could have been a Sleestack, too.
Well, at any rate, we know that we'll all watch The
Yeah.
Acolyte, and we'll probably
Yeah.
give you weekly viewing updates. So
Yeah, I sent Sean the picture that I did take that you could see of the only representation of Jar Jar that I think is in Galaxy's Edge.
Oh, the one I pointed out
Yes.
this weekend. Yeah, it was. It's pretty funny that
The idol.
it showed up.
oh,
So they in
Throw me the
Doc
Jar Jar.
in Doc Ondor's antiquities shop, they used to have the Ark of the Covenant,
Yeah.
and if you stood in a certain spot, you could see the Ark of the Covenant.
Yeah.
And it was cool. I
Yeah.
was sad that they took it out.
Yeah, I know,
Can't,
what the heck?
I can't zoom in anymore on this,
Oh,
unfortunately.
I'm sorry. I'll zoom in and fix
No,
it
it's
later.
it's the program.
Oh,
It's
okay.
the program. So if you look around, they added, because they sell a thing, this golden idol of Jar Jar's head.
that's funny.
It's like the Indiana Jones fertility idol if it were Jar Jar.
Oh, my God.
And so it's just sitting up there on a shelf. But you can buy these little blind box things that are the antiquities of Doc Ondor. And one of them is this little golden head
Yes.
of Jar Jar Binks. It could be another Gungan. But I'm going with Jar
Yeah,
Jar,
it's,
honestly.
yeah, totally.
I don't know. Maybe they froze him in golden carbonite and he lost his head.
I think they froze him in carbonite and then electroplated him in gold.
Right.
Yeah,
But, you know, it's a thing.
yeah.
And Andor season 2 has wrapped, so we'll probably get that. I don't know, in the fall maybe,
That I'm looking forward to.
maybe for Christmas.
Well, that'd be cool.
I
don't remember
liked
what the
the
dates are for
first
that
Andor
sucker.
quite a bit.
And finally, we have a couple
Everybody.
of prequel character actors with comments on the prequels.
Yeah.
Hayden Christensen on Return of the Sith,
Revenge of the Sith?
Revenge of the
Well,
Sith.
It doesn't
Sorry.
matter. Either or, really. You
The
know.
whatever of the Sith.
Youngling
Harvest,
scene,
I don't
he
know.
says, "I love that George did it."
Yeah.
So he
But-
likes that he was a
Yeah,
character
he's
that
like
murdered all those
he's like,
children.
he killed all these kids, but I'm like, well, actually, he took out the saber, and then it cut away, like the door shut, and you're like, did you just kill those kids?
Yeah.
and then
then
there
it's
were
like-
no future Jedi
Yeah. But then there's all
So-
these little like
escapees.
what were they called in like in Rebels and stuff? The Sith Enforcers, or what the heck they're called? The Sisters?
The Inquisitors.
Yeah, the Inquisitors. So
Yeah.
I would think a bunch of those kids became Inquisitors.
Well,
Oh, like he turned them.
Yeah.
we saw later
yeah,
on
probably.
when Obi-Wan and Yoda went back to the Jedi Temple and were looking through the security footage.
Yeah.
Didn't we see him kill the kids?
I thought we did.
I don't know.
Because they were like
I
all
remember
freaked
that.
out, and I'm pretty sure they showed it in hologram format.
Yeah.
I think, I don't-
Because
well,
wouldn't
he was-
they need to in order to?
I don't think he knocked off the kids in those shots, but he did knock off others. but I could be wrong.
Didn't he kill like George Lucas's son Jet?
Yeah, probably. Out of spite or something.
He like tried to fight back.
Yeah, and Bail Organa tried to save him in his car. He like pulled down and he was like trying to save him, and
His car?
they told him to go away in his speeder.
Oh, okay.
He landed on the platform and they're like, "This doesn't concern you. Go away."
Yeah.
And then Sam Jackson is quoted as saying, "He's not dead.
Yeah.
Not quite dead yet."
Well, and a
feel
certain author of our acquaintance is writing a Mace Windu book.
See?
Yeah.
Nudge, nudge.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see. By the way,
Lefty, the Lonesome Jedi.
Obi-Wan specifically says, "I have seen a security hologram of him killing younglings."
Oh, okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought visually that I couldn't remember that at all, but then again,
a lot of people blot out terrible
Sirius
things.
was a sort of a
I don't remember all of episode 3.
Yeah.
I hope that Samuel L. Jackson signs a copy of the new book.
Oh,
that,
yeah, totally.
Oh my
Stephen
God,
Barnes?
Right, Steve. Yeah. Yes. Sorry, I need to Guillermo del Toro. I can't even say it. I need to leave now.
Yeah, so it's if your friends,
TV.
Facebook friends are following Stephen Barnes, it's been really interesting to see his experience dealing with Disney and the publishing companies writing this book.
Yeah.
And where he's like, I wrote a scene and the only note on the scene was hell yeah. And so it was like, so apparently Disney's liking what he's writing.
Oh,
which is
good.
great.
Good.
I think that, but what I was trying to say before I got tongue-tied and broke my
Combobulated?
brain, was that I hope that Stephen Barnes has Samuel L. Jackson sign a copy of his book, to him or something like that.
I think that would be amazing.
Somewhere in
Yeah.
that universe.
Yeah.
It would be very cool.
I have a comic book signed by Sam somewhere around here.
Oh, cool.
That's a Mace Windu comic book.
Yeah.
But I think that would be super cool.
Or the other way around. Stephen Barnes signs a copy and
Oh,
gives it to...
he'll send one to Sam Jackson.
Sam
I
Jackson.
don't know if he still deals with the charity that I met him at, which was Artists for New South Africa. But Sam was really involved with it.
Oh, okay.
And he did the Star Wars Episode 3 premiere party at the Arm & Hammer Museum.
Oh.
And
Making
which
soda?
he didn't make, which was weird. Something happened. He couldn't make it himself. But Billy D was there, and Billy D was sitting at a table all by himself,
Oh,
which
what
was
the heck?
criminal.
Yeah.
So we all went over to cheer him up. He
Yeah,
just
that's
looked
right.
sad.
That's what I'd be
I
doing.
hope you bought him a drink.
Well, do they have a? I don't think he was drinking. And they had
You
no.
brought him a soda.
They had no Colt 45.
I know. You just bring
But
out,
but
that's all
none
you
of
needed.
us got autographs. We just sat down. We told him how awesome we thought he was. and,
Yep.
you know.
And how you got gypped on
Well, I was at a,
Two-Face again?
I was at a
Once.
501st dinner at Comic-Con one year. And for some reason, we were at the table with Steve Sansweet,
Okay.
and nobody was sitting with him.
What the hell?
For a while, it was me and Steve Sansweet
Yeah.
sitting there
Yeah, it was
looking
it
at
was
each other.
really weird. And
It was very weird.
And Steve's amazing. He's a lot
Yeah.
of fun to talk to, and he's got a long career. Before being head of fan relations for Lucasfilm,
Yeah.
he used to write for the Wall Street Journal. I mean, dude's got cred.
Yeah.
And he's just fun to sit and talk to. But he's depending on where you go. If you meet him on the floor of Comic-Con, he's got a crowd around him all the time.
It was so weird. I
But-
was like, does nobody recognize him?
Well, and so this
Yeah.
this
going
happens
on?
to Steve every once in a while. So one year at Comic-Con, I cosplayed Steve Sansweet. I did my hair up and my beard and everything I could to make myself look as much like Steve as possible. I had a Lucasfilm polo shirt that I put on, and a pair of jeans and a Lucasfilm briefcase, and we went to the 501st Legion picture because I knew he was going to be there. Because the dinner the previous night, he didn't look like he was having a very good time. He looked like he was having a rough convention, and I thought it would make him laugh. And so I did it, and it was pretty epic, I thought.
Yeah.
We had a lot of fun. He took it in good stride, although he went home and shaved off his beard. So I don't know. And he took a look at me and went, "Oh God, is that what I look like?" But we've got some pretty cool pictures of the two of us together. And I think that happens to Steve every once in a while. I think he reaches a point where he gets around enough people who are like, "Oh, I don't want to bother Steve Sansweet," you know. and I think he gets ignored.
Oh man,
It's one thing if he's got a booth on the show floor where he's like, "Look at my collection," because people show up and go, "I want to see the toys."
Yeah.
But if it's just Steve, I think people get intimidated, or they don't know what to say, or they're just like, "Oh, I don't want to bug him." But he loves to be bugged. He's like me. We love to be bugged by people and meet people and talk to people that we have a common interest in. And everybody's that's a Star Wars fan has a common interest with Steve Sansweet. He's amazing.
No, totally.
I still keep saying, and we'll have to figure this out at some point,
Yeah.
we need to take a Docking Bay 94 trip up to Rancho Obi-Wan
Yeah.
and the San Francisco area in general.
That's for sure.
You just posted a thing, Jeff, that they're doing a screening, I guess, up at for the Bad Batch or something.
Oh, that was in the I sent you in chat about
Yeah.
it. Yeah, it was like they're doing I think they already filled all the spots.
It's
but
like a fan screening. Yeah, I can't go.
Yeah, I can't either. It's like during the week and all. And
Yeah,
like,
it's usually like a Monday or a Wednesday
it's
or
like
something.
next week and then on a Tuesday or something. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, damn it.
But Kelly said that she looked up
Ow.
Steve Sansweet and can see the resemblance. I'll see if I can find a picture because I know I've got
It's a
one
pretty funny
Yeah.
picture.
somewhere.
Let's move on to theme parks now that we only have 25 minutes left.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, we're
and
not
the
getting to all those trailers
first
that happened.
Item that we have to talk about is that the actors at Disneyland, so that these are the characters and parade cast members, are trying to unionize.
Yes.
And I assume that you guys have more information on that because you've talked to cast members.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. And here, let me switch from looking for that picture to this because I do have some information that I was sent from one of our cast member friends. And so Jeff, you were talking earlier about how you worked for Disney, and they pretty much told you that everybody was unionized.
Yeah, like it's like you get there and everyone in the park is in a union of some sort, which is not true, actually. So, yeah.
Well, and it seems to be just about this one department that is not really done. They have collected. They're doing a petition right now.
Yeah.
And they have collected a fair number of signatures. They've passed 4,000.
Okay.
4,066.
Uh-oh, there it went.
What did I
Wow.
do?
Look out, Andy.
What was that?
It was
Death Star.
some cups
Oh,
and a Death Star balanced on the cups.
weird. I moved my microphone and
The thing
Oh.
that's in the no man's land.
And
between our
everything went to
monitors.
hell.
right. So,
Oh, PhotoPass is also not
Yes,
union.
exactly.
yeah, and I know a lot of PhotoPass people.
Is PhotoPass part of this? It doesn't sound like it is.
No,
part
I
of
don't.
this new union
I don't
effort?
think so. I don't think
Yeah.
this is just
Just,
the
I think
the
the-
cast
yeah.
members who portray
Characters.
characters. So they want to partner.
And parades.
Yes, that's playing characters. This is the parades. part
Well,
of it.
sometimes they have people who are just like shaking a pom pom, and they're not technically a character.
So they want to unionize with if you were performing in front of people, this covers you.
Yeah.
Actors Equity, which is usually
Yeah.
stage performers, and so they're trying to get Disneyland to do it. And apparently, Walt Disney World is already part.
Yes,
of
from what I understand,
Equity?
yeah, they've already been. Or
So-
maybe, I don't know if it's equity, but yeah.
It's kind of nuts. And so basically, they're like, they want to have better treatment and, the protections of the union and that kind of thing. We've seen a lot of groups that are doing that, like Starbucks and things like that are really trying to make it happen.
Yeah.
This petition is sponsored by Actors Equity directly. And, you can actually sign the petition if, where do you go to sign it? Action.org. I'll go put it in our chat.
Cool.
Here we go. So it's one of those things that everybody should be treated well. I mean, that's just how it goes. And I think that Disney is making so much money off of people right now that their shareholders can stand to make a little less and have them take care of the people who work for them. It's always been kind of a big deal with Disney, where cast members who absolutely love working there and they like the environment and the family feeling and all of that kind of stuff. This is sort of their poster. Ignore the Actors Equity logo that looks like a butt. And
oh man!
And so this is their sort of like picket sign thing.
Yeah.
And and I love the 4-fingered fist. It's kind of awesome. Everybody deserves to get a good wage. Everybody deserves to be protected and not walked all over. There's been a current thing, and I think we talked about this on the show maybe a week or two ago, where cast members are concerned, and this is like every cast member, where they have downtime that they don't get paid for. They show up on property. It takes them up to an hour to get to their job position and clock in and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And they don't get paid for that hour because they have to park in a lot, take a shuttle. Mm-hmm. They have to get there way early so that they can make sure they catch the shuttle and be there for their shift. And there's a lot of jobs that don't get paid like that, like people who work for the airline industry who also have this kind of travel time disconnect. And a lot of times they don't get paid for working at the gate. They only get paid for the time they're actually on the airplane, which is kind of brutal. And so, we like these guys. We like what they do. We know people who are cast members who bust their butts. They're very talented at what they do. Disney thinks so because they keep them on, of course. And most of the people, from kids to adults to entire families, make it a point when they go to Disneyland to get photographs, get autographs, get all of this stuff. And one thing that I've noticed since Galaxy's Edge went in, especially, is that the characters in other areas of the park, and they don't seem to include DCA in this for some reason. And I'm going to assume it's just the Disneyland Resort, and it's like all of the characters. Okay. But I have noticed, especially in Disneyland, that the character performers are really big on improv and interacting with people. Yeah. And for a while it used to be just take a picture and Cinderella waved at me and said hi. But now they're being in character and they're doing whatever. And the villains especially get to tear up the scenery. If you run into Cruella, she'll shred you, in the nicest way possible. But she will completely rip you apart. The evil queen from Snow White, likewise. And, these guys are really busting their butt. They're trying to give you the perfect character experience. I'm down with this union. I think it's fine. Get them on board, especially if Florida's already doing it.
Yep, I just signed the darn thing, and I saw Colleen did.
I did.
Nice. So, I don't know how long this is going to go on. We've been talking to some cast members who have been giving us information but didn't want to come talk themselves.
Yeah.
Let me ask around and see if we can find someone who wants to come sort of spearhead this. Yeah. And maybe we'll do a little interview and talk to them and see what they have to say, because it's I don't know, it's important to me. I think everybody should get paid what they deserve to get paid and be treated like human beings. And we were heartbroken a couple years, and this was going on before COVID. I think things are a little bit better now, but before COVID especially, where we had cast member friends who just lived in their car They did their shift. They went to their car. They went to sleep. They got up and went to their shift again. Not cool.
No.
That's not cool. You got to pay people enough to live, and it's expensive in California.
I think
I get it.
I think that that has gotten better, from what I understand.
Yeah, I think
talking
so
to another
too.
cast member, so at least that's gotten better. But this whole issue with the union, yeah, not so much.
Yeah,
I can understand why that has not been unionized.
We'll see how it all
Good
shakes
grief.
out. There's a lot to make of this kind of thing, and it's going to take time, I'm sure. They just sort of kind of announced this, and I put the link in the chat if you're following the chat on.
Yeah.
And I think it went to everything. I think it went to
I posted it on my timeline.
YouTube and Facebook
As
and all
well.
that, and spread it around. And if you like what the cast members do, if they're a part of your Disney experience, show them some support.
Yeah.
All right. We have the food guide to the DCA Food and Wine Festival, which is March 1st through April 22nd. I did not look at this. I don't know whether Sean's going to show this. We don't have a lot of time. We have 15,
15
minutes left. And I don't
We can
know that
save
really need
it
to.
for the Food and Wine Festival doesn't start for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
So we could actually save it till next week and get more in depth on it.
Great. Tiana's Bayou Adventure opens this summer at Disney World.
Yep. Oh, and you can see the animatronic. of
It's weird that they're kind of getting it first.
Yeah.
Which is strange.
Why?
I don't know. I thought for sure that we would get it first, but did they? I guess they closed theirs first. So
Probably, yeah. Yeah.
So I mean,
Yeah, I
I don't
don't
know.
think it's that weird.
so this is the animatronic that they're working on, and there's
Yeah.
a very short video that they did of the animatronic in motion.
Yeah.
That it's really only like 10 seconds
Yeah.
and you don't see much, but oh my gosh, guys. So I think this is
Thank goodness.
called the A1000. So there's the A100, which is like Mr. Lincoln and Pirates of the Caribbean in the early version. And then I think when they upgraded it to modern technology, they just added a zero and it became the A1000 model. And this character is so fluid and so articulate. It's really amazing. Here, let me. I don't know if I.
It looks
can-
good.
I can't make this any smaller
Okay.
for you to see.
Yeah, just focus on
but
that part.
here's we get a little introduction from our cast member. But take a look at this. Look at her mouth and the eyes going, and
Yeah.
there are no seams on her. She doesn't
Yeah.
have a join for her neck or anything like that. I mean, it's actually just mind-boggling to me.
Yeah.
And I wish they'd showed us a little bit more.
Yeah. All you can see is the background, but that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
So
it's
it gives me hope that the ride will actually have animatronics and not just a bunch of projections on the walls.
right, and I think that'll be good. There's an argument about that going on, or a discussion, I guess, going on about that right now for one of the like the Mexican pavilion over in Epcot, where they had a bunch of animatronics, and I guess they got rid of them for screen projections instead with animations.
Yeah.
And people can't decide if they like it or not. And I know that a lot of people really want this to be good.
Yeah, it works better for me. Projection mapping or whatever only works if it's like a tool. If it works where you're just moving from one TV screen to another, it doesn't for me. It's just like
Right. So the
it's not
submarine
really-
ride is not your favorite ride, basically, is what you're telling me now that it's Nemo.
I like it for a point, but you're still just going from one TV screen to another. And I would rather they did a little better with the mapping. You know, like say when we own a Big Thunder, there's projection mapping in there all over the place, and they did such a good job that it's not like, oh look, I'm watching TV. You know, it was like here's the fuses being lit and firing off or whatever, and that kind of it's like as a tool it works really well, but otherwise, you know, it's a short.
Yeah. Yeah.
Alrighty. Moving right along. Sean, you want to grab that?
We lost one person of note this week.
Yeah.
If you are a fan of Pop-Tarts, if you grew up with them, if you like them, the pastry that seemingly could go through the mail. It's, Bill Post passed away. He invented the Pop-Tart. He died at the age of 96. But he was... he started working at the Heckman Biscuit Company, washing trucks, and took a break for World War II. He went to serve in the Army Air Corps, and when he came back at 21, he started working in the personnel department, sales, promotion, all this kind of stuff. And then eventually he became the plant manager of what became the Keebler Company.
Nice.
And so the guys from Kellogg's went to talk to Keebler and said, we have this idea for a product. Do you think you can make this work? And so he wouldn't exactly take credit for the Pop-Tart. He said, I put together a team that did the Pop-Tart. But he was apparently instrumental in doing it. So Pop-Tarts have been around.
on a Pop-Tart team.
Right? We could. We could have a Pop-Tart team. 1964, they came out with 4 original flavors: strawberry, blueberry, brown sugar cinnamon, and apple currant. I don't know that the apple currant one is still around, but the other 3 are. And at any given time, they have 20 to 30 flavors on the market now.
Yes, there's like
wow.
There's a lot.
Yeah, kind of nuts. So pretty cool. So, and of course, Keebler, known for cookies.
Elves in a tree. Yeah.
Elves in a tree and occasional tree fires.
Yes,
yeah,
I know.
that's good.
Dang it all.
Anyway, sad to hear of his passing, because we done love Pop-Tarts in this house.
They have some wacky flavored Pop-Tarts currently.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
They've got Eggo frosted maple flavor.
Eggo frosted maple flavor.
Yeah.
That is weird. I'm not so sure I'm feeling that one.
They have frosted apple cinnamon apple jacks Pop-Tarts. Oh, no, and frosted banana bread Pop-Tarts. Ugh.
Well,
Yeah.
I think we only have one more story that we had teased that we haven't talked about.
Well, why don't you talk about that?
The Hollywood Reporter reports on something that we discussed last week. Remember how Elmo was really cool and he just asked everybody how they were doing?
Yeah.
And they got Elmo got like 20,000 responses, and it was absolutely huge. And so Elmo then went on the Today Show. They were doing a segment about mental health, and Larry David apparently went insane and choked Elmo on television. He said, well, somebody had to do it. He reluctantly apologized.
The people on the Today Show said, no, somebody didn't have to do it.
Right. It's like, why did you do this? It was nuts. And so everybody's favorite nerd advocate, Wil Wheaton, got pissed. He got really mad. He had a rant on it, about it, and he says, when I was growing up, my dad would grab me by the shoulders and shake me while he screamed in my face. Choked me more than once. He was always out of control and always in a furious rage and always terrifying. I am a 51-year-old man, and my heart is pounding right now recalling how I felt when I was a little boy who loved Grover the way today's kids love Elmo. So this is appalling, unforgivable, despicable, and hits more than one raw nerve for me. And I'm going to say what I wish I'd been able to say when this sort of thing happened to me. What the F is wrong with that guy? Elmo is like the best friend to multiple generations of children in the Sesame Street universe. Elmo is a child who is currently putting mental health and caring for others in the spotlight.
Yep.
What an a-hole. What a stupid, self-centered, tone-deaf a-hole. Larry David strikes me as a person who mocks and belittles people who are vulnerable and sensitive and enjoys being cruel because he feels untouchable. And he said, first of all, you aren't even in the segment. You just decided to barge in and draw focus Why? You couldn't stand that a puppet brought people together in a meaningful way that you can't? And he's just got this incredibly swear-laden rant that continues on. But, look, I don't always agree with Elmo. Elmo's not of my generation. But I agree with Will. I mean, Grover was our Elmo. He was very childlike. He always had a great fantasy life. We liked Grover in that same way that kids like Elmo. It's a freaking puppet. And, why is Larry David triggering people who had bad childhoods by being this jerk? I had a similar upbringing to what Will describes. And, it's the kind of thing that stays with you. You don't like to see anybody get treated that way, especially in the case where here's this old guy being an a-hole to a little kid Muppet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Will is, we always joke about Will's, fame and the position he holds in the fan community, but he's not off base here. He is completely on it. You can go to the Hollywood Reporter, read the entire story, because, look, you don't have to cancel Larry David. He's going to do it on his own.
Yep.
Just what a jerk. So, Will's not wrong. Read the whole article, though. It's fascinating because he got such an insane cool reaction from everybody where some people were like, my day's great. I had pie. And other people were like, I'm going through this really terrible thing. Thanks for asking.
Yeah.
And it covered this like really wide gamut. And, it's exactly why I want to do our Muppet Project. Mm-hmm. It like completely nails it.
Exactly the opposite of what that slime bag did.
Yeah. And it's like the Muppets get such a reaction from people in a great way, 99.9% of the time.
Yeah.
And then you have the 1% like Larry David.
Yeah.
And it is exactly why I want this Muppet car up and running and for us to do puppets at these events, because that's the reaction it gets from people, is that it's great and it's home and it's nostalgic. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know, man. Whatever Larry David's got going on, I guess his show is coming back. I don't even care. At one point, I was like, I should watch that. It might be interesting. No. And now I don't even care. No. I'm like, screw that guy. He just burned any goodwill I had.
Yep. Well, and he doesn't. He says he'd do it again.
Yeah. Yeah. He's not very contrite. He doesn't care. And, not only that, but, there was a performer there they call Elmo's dad. There was a performer performing Elmo. Yeah. And that guy's like, what the hell are you doing? And he has to deal on the human end of things with this. Yeah. It's an act of violence. And it was assault. I don't care if it's a puppet. It's assault. It's a character people love, and you don't do that BS on morning television. What's wrong with you?
And also, children could have been watching that.
Well, right.
They probably were.
Yeah.
How many times when we were kids were like, oh, so-and-so's going to be on television? We used to watch ads, like half-hour-long ads about the cartoons that they were going to show on Saturday morning. Yeah. But kids watch that kind of stuff. Elmo's going to be on TV? Let's watch Elmo.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Just what a tool. Absolute tool.
All right. We are done.
I guess we are.
On a happy note, Fantastic Four is coming out sooner or later.
Woo.
There you go.
So is Umbrella Academy Season 4.
Yeah, see? Yeah.
With 100% more robotic Fantastic Four goodness.
Yeah.
Not in the Umbrella Academy.
Herbie? Yeah, not in
Herbie and Fantastic Four, because he's in the little picture. And Umbrella Academy, we have someone who transitioned, so to speak, and I believe is in the show still, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, but that already happened last season.
And
it happened between
Elliot
season.
Yeah, Elliot continues on, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Good. Yeah. I'm happy about that.
Yep.
Umbrella Academy.
And it's the final season for Umbrella Academy, especially because they're selling the props at the prop store right now.
Yeah, prop. I was just
Okay.
going to bring that
There
up
you go.
from the 5th to the 19th of this month, so it's already underway. The Umbrella Academy has an online auction, and they have everything from the Umbrella Academy that you could want. Do you want the recumbent bicycle that number 5 was riding around in the apocalypse? Do you want Grace's cool 1950s wardrobe? They've got briefcases. They've got the little vacuum tubes they kept sending around from the agency. The portraits with gunshots in them. I mean, all sorts of amazing stuff. You can even get Tom Hopper's giant monkey makeup suit if you want it. They're auctioning absolutely everything off.
That's cool.
So if you're a fan of the show,
Yep.
you might be able to nab something for a pretty decent price.
That's pretty good. The young fellow from My Chemical Romance, made that. That's pretty cool. Anyway,
Yeah, well, creative people have creative
Pretty awesome.
hobbies, so nice stuff. I guess that's it for us. A big, huge thumbs up and a thank you to all of you guys for tuning in. We love your company. It's why we do it. And if you didn't show up, we'd be sad and probably stop. A big thanks to Kit for keeping our documents straight. There was so much in the document we didn't get to this week that we will carry over. All the stuff that, debuted trailers for the Super Bowl and all that kind of stuff. We'll talk about that next week. Yeah. And for you guys who stuck through a full 2 hours, we're super grateful there too. I have a show tomorrow morning from 9 a.m. To 11 a.m. We'll wrap out the week. Gallifrey 1 is this weekend, the Doctor Who convention here in Los Angeles by the airport. If you're there, come say hi. And otherwise, we'll do this all again next Thursday. I'm Sean Obi-Shawn Crosby.
this is Jessel Donoho.
I'm calling Kaylee Crosby.
As always,
May the Force be with you.
Give you guys some credits over here on the video. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Night.